Hello, I am Manueltos and welcome to another episode of the Stronghold Crusader AI Tournament. So let's get right back to our classic map. The versus map improved, and I'll put myself right in the middle. And today, our adversaries are the Marshal against the Lionheart.
Well done!
And last time, we had Saladin against the Caliph. And unsurprisingly, Saladin did pull out a victory there. So I don't know how this is going to go. I think the Lionheart has a very powerful castle defensively, perhaps compared to the Marshal. But the Marshal does use knights, so we're going to find out. So let's get right into the action. And here we have it, the beginning. Let's take a look at the early build. There you go, 2,000. Let's see, anyone ahead right out of the gate. The Marshal has already begun investing money into building things, particularly buying supplies. Perhaps for early construction, that could be a distinct possibility. Meanwhile, the Lionheart is being a bit more conservative with his money. But that may give the Lionheart a disadvantage in the long run when it comes to actually being the first one to get into the action. Because look at that, and now look at this. But the Lionheart is now beginning to move that money. The Lionheart hasn't actually built a marketplace at this point, which I find very interesting. That's very strange indeed, if you ask me. Because, in my opinion, that's probably one of the first things he built. But the Lionheart does have some stone and has begun setting up the rather simple but effective castle. The classic rectangle. And here we are seeing some wood coming into the castle.
People are leaving the castle.
And still we don't see any of the marketplace. I don't know what's going on here, but that can't be a winning maneuver. You know, while the Marshal has spent almost all of his money, but has also gotten himself a quite running economy. But we'll see how that goes. So my archers are on the keep, and they are shooting passers-by. And the Lionheart still does not have a marketplace. But he does have a gatehouse. I think someone may have messed up the priorities when programming the AI.
We are under attack.
But it looks like the first wave of archers has come, and there's actually quite a few of them. So they may actually be able to take down one of mine. Well, it doesn't look like they are going to, though. So it may still be a while before they launch a full-scale attack. And of course the knights can't do anything since my troops are on the tower itself. So they have to approach with infantry of some sort. Lionheart has pulled out his archers and he has built a marketplace, and now look at that, all the money's gone and the economy is running. But the Lionheart did get a slower start than the Marshal. So that may put the Lionheart at a slight disadvantage. However, the Marshal has already almost caught up completely in troops with the Marshal.
People are leaving the castle.
Lionheart picking off some of those spearmen. Not that they're actually dealing any damage though, so it's not really the most valuable target to hit here. Marshal has begun extracting iron, as has the Lionheart. Let's take a look. Greatest Lord, it hasn't shifted. So it's still open for the Marshal to win. Meanwhile, they have set up farms adjacent to one another that will cause some conflict once I get defeated here. Meanwhile, the Marshal has enclosed his keep and has doubled up on walls with crenellation. And has begun protecting the wings here. Not that it is the most effective type of protection, though. In fact, this is the short kind, so we're not seeing any extra tower on the back. But nevertheless, from the front, it's pretty tough. Especially if you put a moat right here. And I don't know if the Marshal is going to do that, but if the Marshal does end up putting a moat in front of it, that is going to offer quite a bit of protection. However, the Lionheart primarily attacks with heavy infantry, so he's just going to go around and try to attack in the back here, which this tower will not have that much oversight over due to proximity. So we have two sides that both focus on attacking with heavy infantry.
We are under attack.
And Marshal is still up. But the Lionheart has gotten a leg up on troops. So we'll find out whether the Lionheart is going to be very aggressive today. And hopefully, for the sake of ending this match in a reasonable amount of time, the Lionheart is very aggressive. There goes the Marshal. Marshal isn't really making the most of these farms since many of the farmers are dying on the road. We are beginning to see
we are
the woodcutters' huts move into the two green regions. The Lionheart hasn't quite moved out yet, but something tells me he's about to. Meanwhile, the Marshal has already interspersed them all through here.
People are coming to the castle.
And here it is. The Lionheart has decided to attack. Going to have to go through those spearmen first, though. But once he's through, he's killing off all the archers. Surprisingly, that archer's not dead yet. Meanwhile, that took off most of my health. So, well, next attack of that sort is going to finish me off. But because I don't actually have archers shooting down, I probably will not see an attack of that sort in the future, or at least not as likely. On the other hand, a possible attack that I will be seeing is an actual full-out attack. Direct siege attack. But that may take some time depending on how fast they're able to build up their troops. The Lionheart, of course, is building up troops quite fast, being 16 ahead of the Marshal. Well, that of course is changing all the time, as we are seeing here.
No change in the Treasury Lord.
And There's a lot of trade going on here. 758. We'll wait to see how far that goes until the attack actually begins. But here's a knight going in for some action, but... wait, no, he's just patrolling. He's not going in for any action. I am taking probably some damage from these arrows, but it's negligible. It looks like the Marshal has begun taking down some of the Lionheart's buildings. Getting that raiding game early is always a good thing to do.
Coming to the castle.
But I don't think he's actually trying to raid.
You are the third greatest lord.
And I am very well aware that I am the third greatest lord in this game. Now you might ask, why do you make a map where the AI has to kill you, and not where you just kill yourself with lions at the start? And the reason I do that is because, number one, I'm right in between them, so the AI is obviously going to try to focus on me first before attacking the other AI, which gives both AIs a chance to build up their castles and at least complete them, or get close to completing them, to allow for a fairer match. And in addition to that, it rewards AIs that do take the initiative and attack early by giving them 500 gold. So, in other words, whereas normally, without me here, an AI would have that attacks early would have an advantage. That AI still has an advantage, but the other AI also has the chance to build up a bit. That could be what finishes me off, depending on where those are headed. Well, it doesn't look like they're headed my direction, or at least these two aren't. Yeah, they don't look like they're going for me. So catapult right up here. Not exactly the location I would pick. That's an old knight from earlier. And look at that, those knights already going in.
A message from the Lionheart.
My men are eager for battle, and so am I. Prepare to fight!
And it looks like the Lionheart has taken the initiative. Will the Marshal do the same?
A message from the Marshal.
Yes, he will.
We fight for the honor of those that have gone before!
There we have it. It's a base race. Who's gonna make it first? Well, not a base race in the proper sense, but a race for my base. Ooh, 4 of them went in. Oh no, 3 of them went in. Sorry. I thought I saw 4, but there were only 3. I assumed that one had gone in earlier, but there hadn't. But there's nothing to hit, so time wasted. But we are seeing the moat come together. And it looks like the first wave of the infantry is already here.
The Lord is under attack.
The Lionheart does have an advantage in using pikemen to attack because they move faster than the swordsmen. The Marshal's swordsmen are on their way. The Lionheart swordsmen, where are they? I don't see them. Oh, there they are. They're almost there. I'm very close to getting killed. 2 more guys in there, and I'll be down. Or at least one more might do it. Oh yeah, he did.
My royal banner rises over your domain. Rightful order is restored.
And the Lionheart gains that 500 by taking that initiative just a moment before the Marshal. Had the Marshal been slightly faster, he would have gotten that 500, but there you go. So now the full-scale raiding game is going to begin. They're going to begin raiding each other's territories. I think the Marshal is probably going to have the upper hand when it comes to raiding due to the fast movement of the knights. But it looks like the Lionheart is going straight in for another attack. But unfortunately for him, his troops were intercepted by the Marshal's knights. And there we have it. A couple of catapults right at the ready to attack. And look at that damage. However, the catapults aren't actually going to be able to open up a hole to attack through because they are not, well, because of a moat, obviously. Now that being said, the Lionheart may dispatch some pikemen to dig up the moat. But the Marshal is always at the ready with sending some knights to counterattack. However, this tower might go down pretty soon. One more hit. Oh, they're barely missing. There it is. There it's down. That's 1 point of defense that the Marshal now does not have. So this attack is, I'd say, a bit devastating for Marshal's defense. However, this tower is still pretty secure behind, let's count them, 3 layers here, if you count the stairs. So it's not going to be too easy attacking that. However, oh, they just managed it. And there also is the granary there, which has gotten hit. And look at that, the knights just barely missed the catapult. Had they been just one tile over, those catapults would have been down by now. But now the granary is under heavy attack, and it's down. A great blow to the Marshal. Now he's lost all his food, and he needs to gain that back, which isn't that hard to do, but it still is going to be a drain on the economy, and a lot of these troops were hit as they were passing through this region. Now some of them are trapped. It's just an all-around bad day for the Marshal today. Even though the Lionheart didn't really have the infantry to push through and capitalize on this advantage, he still made the most of what he had and hit pretty hard. Let's see how damaged. Wow, that one might go down next attack. So we are seeing a quite strong, vigorous attack from the Lionheart. The Lionheart is probably, yes, higher in weight. They're swapping around in the order of merit. Even though the Lionheart has both more money and more troops, the Marshal is still considered a serious contender by whatever calculation the computer makes. Meanwhile, it looks like the Oasis is held by the Lionheart, but the Marshal sends in a load of knights. That swordsman is not getting away. Not today, anyway. And look at that, those knights just rushing through, cutting down anyone that they find. A really devastating attack. This is what the Lionheart has to contend with. A superior raiding force against a hard-hitting siege attack. And look at that. A sneaky catapult. Oh wait, he's not firing now. Why did he cease? He's moving up. Is he targeted? Well, by these archers. If you're gonna shoot, shoot now, because you're not gonna have a lot of time left to do so. Oh, they took that down. That will become a target in the next siege attack. And if the next one goes any similar to the recent one, it will get taken down. And look at that! That's a lot of engineers. A lot different than the 4 we saw the first time around. If all of these get built, that is going to be a serious problem. However, they're marching straight towards those knights. If those knights don't get away from there fast. Oh. Are they all going to make it? Oh my goodness, they're all going to make it. Oh, they all made it! Oh no! Here comes the battering ram. Choo choo. That's the sound that steampunk battering ram would make, not a medieval battering ram. Imagine that battering train. Well, it wouldn't really be a train because you're not pulling anything with it, but it would be the battering steam engine. The battering tank engine. Bury the battering tank engine. There you have it. Oh, and the gatehouse is down. And this tower is looking poorly, if you ask me. Quite poorly. But the catapults are under fire. And an archer got hit. They're getting hit. It's moving toward the other gatehouse, but I don't think it's going to be able to take it down, even though it's outpacing those swordsmen. That is a almost full health gatehouse, and it has archers near it. Although, that archer's going to take it down. Don't tell me. Is it actually going to do it? I don't think it's going to happen. It happened! Holy cannoli! Oh boy, that's devastating. Look at the state of the castle. Both gatehouses down, 2 towers down, and the armory is empty. Well, just if only the Lionheart could get that infantry through, I think the Lionheart would have a win here. But the Marshal still has money to rebuild. Because the Lionheart doesn't raid as intensely, so he can't really do too much to weaken the Marshal's economy in an indirect manner. But let's take a look at the wealth disparity. The Lionheart at 2,000. There are some knights, plenty of knights in fact. Marshal is not skimping out on those. Meanwhile, what's the troop count? Lionheart at over 100 after finishing that attack, while the Marshal is still under 50. I think even if it goes to year 1200, I think we might know who the winner is, but I'll just keep going just in case we can get a finish. Well, you never know. The Marshal, pretty resourceful, could pull it back. If that tower goes down, that's just another tower that doesn't have archers on it. Here comes the attack. There it is, 6 siege engines slated for construction. These engineers are walking straight towards a death trap, though. And they're being targeted. That may be half the engineer squad down. But the other half is still going strong. Alright. Okay, they didn't have enough to get their battering ram this time. Oh, what? No, the trebuchets are down! Not that it matters too much if you've got the 3 catapults. Oh, that one didn't go down. Okay. That's some heavy hitting trebuchet. Still on the roll. Catapults are firing away. With this tower having been taken down in the past, now there's only 1 archer there to really shoot at anyone trying to tear anything down. And the Lionheart is now digging up the moat. And there it is. A nice big fat hole. And pretty soon we should be seeing a hole here as well. Oh wait, I think it might already exist. There it is. Here comes the infantry. The infantry actually made it this time. But they're not making it in one piece, which puts them at a disadvantage in the melee. Oh, but wait, there was a battering ram. There was a battering ram. A lot of Marshal's swordsmen went down this time. That knight's going down. Marshal is out of knights. More swordsmen were attempting to move in. I think that's a Lionheart swordsman right there. The Marshal has 4 swordsmen left.
A message from the Marshal.
Not a Legend of Zelda reference.
Going a bit pear-shaped, what?
I think things are going quite a bit pear-shaped, if you ask me. And all 3 towers are down, as well as 1 gatehouse. And the castle is under continuous attack, so the gaps are going to stay open for now. And look at that, 5 catapults right here, and the trebuchet. The tunnelers didn't really get a chance to shine, but that's okay because tunnelers, honestly, in Stronghold Crusader aren't the best anyway. These 2 are just advancing catapults that made it to the action. Let's take a look at the troop count. 17 for the Marshal. Not what you want to fight a war with, if you ask me. A next full-scale attack perhaps would seal the deal. Take a look at troop count. 124 from the Lionheart. They both are low on money, but I think they're low on money for very different reasons. The Lionheart because he's getting a ton of troops, the Marshal because he's busy rebuilding everything. And there it goes. Just a ton of damage. This one's out of range from the archers. But it's going to get into range eventually. Oh, a couple of knights. The Marshal isn't wasting any time rebuilding. Squad of knights takes down the catapult. There's some peace for, if only for a moment. Marshal doesn't have that many farms up here. Oh, there are more on this side actually, now that I think about it. So, oh, here it comes. The next attack, next raid. No, it's not a raid. It's a full-scale siege attack. 4 knights on the go. There's a couple more right in tow. Where do they plan to attack? I do not know, but that's a lot of engineers. That's the kind of numbers of engineers I would use when attacking, just to get a ton of stuff up, get a nice siege tower, if you ask me. That's always a cool thing to have. I never use this siege towers, which it is a bit sad. Oh, the engineers just narrowly avoided them. They took some damage, but they managed to get through in the end. And these guys wasted their time on something. And here it comes. The castle had just been rebuilt, but isn't really anyone manning it. There are some knights though. And here comes the battering ram, moving in unharassed. That knight is dead. There he goes, he's down. A few knights out on a raid, but they're trying to intercept the swordsman, which isn't the best idea since I think I remember testing it. I think swordsmen are actually slightly stronger than knights. But there's another knight in the castle. Oh, he just came out.
A message from the Marshal.
Things are going a bit pear-shaped, what?
And here it comes. Everyone is getting gathered in. The Marshal is gathering as many citizens as he can together. There are some weapons, there is some food, and there is some money. So it's not over for the Marshal yet. Yeah, there you go, look at it. A couple more knights getting pushed out right in the midst of battle. The Marshal choosing to knight some brave soldiers. But the Lionheart has reached the keep. And it looks like he's going in for more, although there's some friendly fire there. Better avoid that if he wants to actually kill the Marshal this run. Just a few more swordsmen in there and he's dead. But you need to get them in there simultaneously, so that they damage simultaneously. Okay, that might be it. That could be enough. Will that be enough? Not quite. Just one more swordsman. Full health. Well, that one's reasonably close to full. That might make it. Unless he's getting hit. That one, though. That one would definitely take a hit there. Oh, wait. No, he didn't. There he goes. He's actually going out. But he's going to get intercepted by the swordsman.
A message
And
from the
he's
Marshal.
down.
Fiddlesticks! Lost again! Damn it!
And the Lionheart has won the battle. There we have it. Easy, over and done. The second round of the tournament is complete. Now we will enter the third round, starting next episode. There you have it. The Marshal killed quite a bit of the Lionheart's troops, so was definitely effective at killing troops, and the Lionheart was just as effective at losing them. The Lionheart also got plenty of money, plenty of food. Apparently the Marshal, however, was up on wood. Lionheart's up on stone as well as iron, although not by as much as one might expect. However, definitely up on weapons as well as population. But the Marshal was up on a greater fear factor. And the Lionhearts raised more buildings and lost less, and overall produced quite a few more. So that's that for today.
Bother! Afraid?
And I think with that we'll go over to the brackets at the end, and I will be seeing you all next time. Anawoltos over and out.